In my last video, I shared how Psalm 34 became my anchor during a season of deep emotional pain. But today, I want to go even deeper with you, because I've come to realize that the pain I was feeling during that season wasn't just about the recent separation. It was something much deeper, something that had been living in the background of my heart for years, hidden in my subconscious mind, but never healed. Recently, I started reading a book called The Garden Within by Dr. Anita Phillips. And in just the first 3 chapters, God used her words to help me finally connect the dots, to see how the grief I was drowning in was really the fruit of old roots planted in my childhood, wounds I never gave myself the time or the language to understand, until now. You see, I grew up in a large family. From the outside, everything probably looked fine, but inside the walls of our home, emotional absence was the norm. Nobody bothered to know how I was doing emotionally. My parents did their best to provide the basic needs, but sometimes were harsh and deeply critical. And over time, their voices, those sharp, unkind words, became my inner voice. I started to believe that I wasn't good enough, that no matter how hard I tried, I would never measure up. I extended grace to others so easily, but I couldn't do the same for myself. I became my own judge, hard, cold, and unforgiving. I would question any mistake I made. So I learned how to survive by pleasing others. I became what others needed me to be, hoping to earn the love and acceptance I never really felt. I walked through life with low self-esteem, constantly trying to fill a void I couldn't explain. I looked for validation in people, in performance, in relationships, never realizing that only God could truly fill that space. And that's why, when my recent separation happened, it didn't just break my heart, it shook the entire foundation of who I believed I was. Dr. Anita Phillips writes that our hearts are like gardens, and everything from our childhood, both the beauty and the brokenness, plants seeds in our soil, seeds we don't always see until life comes and waters them, until grief or stress or heartbreak makes them grow. In those quiet, heavy days when I could barely leave my bed, when I avoided my children, not because I didn't love them, but because I didn't have anything left to give, I wasn't just battling present pain. I was finally hearing the cries of my younger self, the girl who never felt safe, the girl who learned to shut down her feelings just to survive. This book opened my eyes to the truth that trauma doesn't just live in the mind, it lives in the body. And sometimes depression, exhaustion, or anxiety aren't signs of weakness. They're signs of survival. My body was trying to speak, and for once I was listening. Here are 10 powerful truths I'm carrying from the first 3 chapters of this book. Maybe one of them will speak to your heart too. Childhood pain often shows up in adult silence. The harsh inner voice you carry might not be yours, it might be inherited. The body remembers what the mind tries to forget. Depression isn't laziness. It can be the body's way of saying, "I'm overwhelmed." People-pleasing can be a trauma response, not a personality trait. Low self-esteem grows in soil where love was scarce. God doesn't heal us by force. He heals us by love. True healing begins when we stop hiding the wounds. Your children deserve a garden free from your pain, and healing is how you give them that. No one, not even your past, can fill the void that only God was meant to fill. This book is not just giving me information, it's giving me a language. It's helping me name the things I've buried for years. And now that I've named them, I can bring them to God, not in shame, but in surrender. Maybe you're watching this and realizing that your emotional exhaustion has roots too, that your reactions, your fears, your need to prove yourself, they didn't come from nowhere. And if that's true, then your healing won't come from surface solutions either. It will come from going deeper, from going to the roots, from letting God walk with you into the places you've tried so hard to forget. If Psalm 34 was the rope that pulled me out of the pit, then the garden within is the mirror that's helping me understand how I fell in. So today, I invite you to reflect. What was planted in your childhood that may still be bearing fruit in your life today? Don't be afraid to go there, because God is already there, and He's not mad at you. He's tenderly tending your soil. If this has spoken trance to you, I encourage you to subscribe for more honest healing conversations like this. Share your thoughts in the comments. What part of my story reminded you of yours? And, if you're ready, grab a copy of The Garden Within and walk this path with me. This book will open your eyes in a very profound way. Join me in the next video as I go deeper in Chapter 3 of this book on good ground. You don't want to miss this. Trust me,